Recording in progress.
How you doing, Jake? How's everybody doing? Great, Amy. Straight.
Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah.
Hi, Josie.
Okay.
Ready, Stephanie?
Oh. My MS is really bad, sorry guys.
You told that like, no.
Yeah, thanks for seeing that. I didn't see that.
I apologize. I'm ready now.
Yeah,
I'd like to welcome everybody to the Borough Council meeting, business meeting of July 9th. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Benza. Mr. Soda.
Here.
Mayor Recupero.
Here.
Mr. Alexander.
Here.
President Suchavich.
Here.
Ms. Redzak.
Present.
Dr. Carpenter.
President.
Mr. Pitch.
Here.
Mr. Jamelis.
Here.
And Mr. Long.
Here.
Any additional emergency agenda items? None. We have no registered comments from the public. At this time, any comments from the public? Council will hear them. Please approach the podium or raise your virtual hand. Clearly state your name and address. Buddy,
You want?
reports. All I have is we had a exec session on personnel prior to this meeting tonight. Next up would be the mayor, Dave.
Yes, I have a few things. It wasn't an emergency, as you know, for the agenda, but next week I'll be attending another meeting slash conference on mayors. And they're always informative. This one's gonna be pretty much on, police with small towns and the problems they're having as far as hiring. And the other thing, Sergeant Francos and I, we talked, actually, he had suggested bringing back the curfew siren. For those that don't know, it used to go off at 9:45, gave kids 15 minutes to get in the house. And then at 10 o'clock, it would go off one more time to be off the street. And I know there was a lot of people up on North Avenue, what have you. And that's the reason why we had stopped it, but he had asked me to bring it up to, just for discussion in the future here.
Stephanie, can you put that on for the workshop,
Yeah, but I'll talk to Sergeant.
please? Thank you.
And the second thing is, some of you may know, the officer's been pretty busy Friday, Saturday nights down on Art Street. Just bringing it to your attention, with traffic down there, parking. We have several clubs down there that are open, the pickleball, and traffic's a nightmare. There was a couple cars towed out of a private parking lot. Shouldn't have been in there. But I just want to let you know that's one of the ongoing problems we have down there. It's nice that the businesses down there are making money, but we do have a parking problem. And I'm really surprised that the residents haven't started complaining, because in the past with the boaters, years ago when the river was filled with boats, we always had problems down there. And I just received I received an email from Patty Thomas from Pink Tiny Paws, and I'd like to read, she'd like for me to read it. It says, "Council members, I have been a business owner for over 11 years. Love this borough. After talking to other business owners on ARB, Allegheny River Boulevard, we all agree that seeing grown-up police walking and being seen during business hours makes us feel a little bit safer. Knowing that someone is checking in on businesses and people driving by also see the police present, which is very positive for the borough. I just wanted to share this. Keep up the good work, Patty Thomas." I just wanted to pass that on. Vince actually saw it. I didn't see this. It came in at 619. So that's all I have.
Maybe you can, show the police officers.
Most definitely. I'll send it to Jerry. Sergeant Franco's. That's all I have at this time. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Borough Manager Stephanie?
Upgrade equipment, I emailed you and also included is the equipment that's needed to upgrade the street cameras, basically. You know, computer equipment gets old. The cameras do not need to be updated, but the equipment needs to be updated. For $4,735, we could just fix the ones that are on, I think it's south and around that area. For $7,885, we can fix them. We can get all updated equipment, all new, it would, all new, like. I don't want to explain it, you guys might be able to explain it better. The bandwidth would be better. The shoot back to the station would be better, the stuff in the station would come out clearer. So if we did that, it would be $7,885. My suggestion is for $3,000 more, do them all, because we don't need new cameras. If we need to do cameras, I might be a little.
You will update all the.
This is update everything, this would be the parks, the parking lots, everything will be updated.
Let's begin with a resolution on this.
Yeah.
Is Sergeant Franco's,
Sergeant Francos was actually the one who met with them, then he brought him in to me to bring to you.
As someone who has gotten hit crossing the street there. And the police couldn't
Yeah.
find who did it because the camera resolution was scrapped. I fully support that.
And I will tell you, as somebody who's been in the office and looked at the cameras to try to figure something out. It is, so it will be nice, they're gonna be faster, they're gonna be stronger, they're gonna be better, and the guy said. He came in and talked to me, so I could talk to you guys, and he said, the cameras are,
So every camera will be up and running.
every camera currently is up and running. It's just sometimes how it comes into the building isn't so great, but this will fix all of that.
this all goes into the police station,
This
correct?
all goes into
Yeah.
the police station.
And to back, Vince was up for someone, myself and another councilman whose car was hit and run, which mine was totaled right across the street. The camera wasn't working at that time.
And please remember, what one thing we did learn, because somebody's car was hit on East Railroad, there is not there are certain places that are not cameras on East Railroad, so you can hit a car and get away with it.
I just have one question, so somebody's gonna ask it. If we do this, how do we look at it?
It's gonna hurt a little bit, but not enough for us to be able to say. My argument is. It's not in the budget. Okay, we'll think it'll all move around, everything will fix itself, but this is a safety issue. And again, I keep saying for $3,000, it just seems stupid not to do them all.
I got a call with the district attorney, Steve Zappella, and hope that, we can talk, about this at the workshop meeting.
Yeah, but
As far as funding.
yeah, what I would like to do, though, to be honest with you, is get them done now. Get them ready, get them done, get them budgeted. There's, trust me when I tell you right now, other stuff that needs to be done, that Mr. Zappala could help us with. Because we just want, because these cameras need to be fixed.
Stephanie, I totally agree with your strategy and also with the matter of public safety, but just given what you said about the budget, is it possible to get an extra quote just sitting here?
There's not a lot of people who do
Do
it.
this.
Yes, so basically, the company that did ours is no longer in existence. So this was basically like it.
Okay.
I was just asking, because ultimately you're gonna be the one that has to find it.
I'll be honest with you, I found it already, as I've been messing with the budget, I've already found it, I'm not worried about that. I'm a firm believer, we budget heavy on some sides and. There's certain places where it will be fine, and like I said, again, it's police, it's $3,000, when we're looking at. Our budget. I couldn't, so that's where I'm at,
Do we have any extra ARPA money that we might be able to use? for
not
this?
enough.
But some of it, we use some of it, some.
No, because the ARPA money goes towards streets right now, it's all budgeted to go towards streets, so there's only like $2,000 left to go towards Fairview.
Okay.
Just so, well, I mean, I also talked to both officers about this, and there are license plate readers on the boulevard, but they're not working right. This will alleviate the problem that a lot of people are having with the speeding going on Allegheny Road Boulevard, because you speed on Allegheny Road Boulevard and blow up in lights, it automatically reads your license plate and you're gonna get tickets.
They're not,
It knows how fast you're going through it.
Right.
So,
Is it going to, is it gonna give you a ticket?
and no, they don't print tickets like that. No, it does not do that. That's a fancy state thing. It kind of works like with the fancy part that the state gets radars and we do not, which blows my mind. I'm from a state that allows you to have a radar, whether you're in a town, a borough, or whatever.
So it'll just notify the police and they
Yes.
have to manually send it.
My only other question on the quote is on the labor costs, it shows the two technicians, so they have. So it's 1,500 for one technician, it's 3,280 for two.
Yes,
What are they doing in addition? So
They
they
have
have two
to
technicians,
re-walk.
but they have another $280 on
Yes.
top of.
because there's more wiring involved and there's more fishing, but they have.
Yeah.
Understand that the way these cameras are connected. Like he explained it to me, I was lost and. The cameras that are currently having issues, if you just fix those, the tech time is very minimal.
Yeah,
To fix, to redo them all, you're going through the parks, through the parking lots,
so most of it's just running cable.
running everything through. They're just gonna be here longer.
So,
What's the guarantees, so many years and then.
Yeah, I think, I'm sure they do.
I'm gonna probably say that they don't, because
Oh, no, they probably don't, because it's equipment.
it's electronics, I mean.
It's outdated
You
in a month.
you can put something in today and it's outdated tomorrow.
Yeah, I think he said the equipment wise, it's a year, because it's equipment.
Yeah.
I mean, this is part of doing business outside in an area that isn't protected.
And they will be license plate identified.
Well, that's already there. It's not that it's not
just
there.
you can't see
You
it.
can't see it. You just
Yeah,
can't see it.
turned that, but this will,
It will. I mean, it's not gonna solve all your problems, but it'll solve some.
right, that's good.
I'm just curious, how this came to our attention, because I've been wondering about these cameras for several months and was just curious. Like, what happened that made a difference to bring this up now as opposed to,
What was your
6
worry
months
about,
ago.
I guess, what was your worry about the camera 6 months ago?
well, I don't remember exactly, I just remember asking the question, like, what's this stat, do we need to do something with our cameras, are they all working? You know, do we need to upgrade?
Well,
And I just was wondering what happened that brought this to our attention.
because we had a breakdown about 3 weeks ago. That had to be fixed. It had nothing to do with, again. The cameras themselves are absolutely fine. It has nothing to do with the cameras. So get the word camera out of your head. It has to do with all the stuff that relays everything back into the station.
Right, and this has been not relaying things back to the station for a while, I'm guessing.
No, it has been.
It's just, it's a.
I mean, clearly, what this needing to be done, has it been needed to be done?
No. No,
For
no.
something just happened 3 weeks ago and all of a sudden everything
I
was
mean, the
fuzzy?
cameras were always not extraordinarily clear, but people came out and said there was nothing wrong with them. Something happened. We brought somebody in and that was what they looked at. And again, that's where the $4,000 bid came from. That's to fix where the issue was.
Can you expound on what the issue was?
No, I cannot, because if I do, it will create. I don't know how to explain it. Because it will tell you where the cameras have gone down and come back up and
I
are
get
going
what
down
you're
and coming
saying,
back
yes.
up.
like telling them.
Yeah,
telling them
gotcha.
the State.
Right, right.
Please.
Okay,
We don't do that.
maybe through a more private communication.
No, no,
Because we don't even know which
You don't-
cameras are working.
it's just like we do with the schedule, we know the schedule, that the only people who know the schedule. It's fixed, it's all working right now, what we're asking is just to make it better.
Upgraded.
The budget update, like I told you earlier, we're finishing up the 6-month numbers versus the budget. We didn't get the end of June until Monday because of the holiday. We'll have a short presentation for July 23rd, just to show you kind of where we're at. And we're also, working on the audited numbers for last year's year end, so everything's perfect. I'm asking Parks and Property to review the ordinance on short-term rentals. We have a nifty ordinance with no fees attached to it.
We briefly touched on that last night.
I've noticed that a lot about 2021, 2022. There were a bunch of ordinances that were passed with no fees. So we're trying to go back. Josie's trying to help us to figure out what fees need to be attached. And then the mural, if you haven't seen it, they're going to do, the news called me the other day, today. But the painting has been completed. I'd like to thank Timothy Lind for all of his hard work and the residents of Verona who donated the money for the paint. It was
looks nice.
absolutely gorgeous and it was wonderful that it got done by the 4th of July.
Got a question on that. Could we give them both of them a gift certificate for one, the restaurants in
I'll
town?
see what I can do.
Maybe, split it up with, the barbecue, Rail Barbecue and, Village Inn.
Write that down.
I mean, I think that's the least that the board could do.
Yeah, they didn't charge us.
Right, we just paid for the paint, I believe, through donation.
Through donation.
Thanks everyone for donating. I think that'd be a very nice gesture.
I'd be willing to pitch in person. Council wants to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I had Josie writing it down, we'll get it together.
That it, Steph?
Yep,
Thank you. Okay, intern report. Josie.
Okay, so what you have in front of you is the finished version of the survey that will be published tomorrow. We're obviously gonna push it out as much as we can. I tried to address all the feedback that I got, particularly one that I wanted to highlight was in the ranked choice questions.
What's that?
Question number 4 and number 6, and they're actually numbered this time. And they are designed so that you're ranking like the highest number as the most important thing to you, which I understand is a little bit confusing, and I also agree. But it makes, when you export the data, it makes it a lot easier to understand, because I want to be able to format as in like, we're allotting the most number of points to the issues that people are most concerned about. So it is a little bit confusing to have it be like the higher number is the top priority. But I bolded them, so hopefully people will understand. And that'll be a little emphasis on that. And then, other than that, I am gonna be starting stakeholder interviews. So I will be reaching out to all of you to be interviewed. You obviously don't have to be, but, keep checking your inboxes. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Josie. Next up, finance report.
hold on, I gotta get there. Sorry. For June, the total, income was $111,595.58. Overall, for the entire year, we're at $1.278 million. expense wise, we, expenses for June were 130,389.96. You do not have, I keep these numbers, which is a negative $18,794.38. Total expenses. Total expenses are $822,000, which leaves us with $456,000. Those would be the numbers that you have in your thing, and I can send you the monthly, we just don't pass that out because it's too small to print. Are there any questions, concerns?
The revenue numbers starting to catch up because you're starting to get more of the borough taxes.
Yeah,
stuff coming.
Biggest revenues would pop in about May.
Yeah.
June, you see, and then itty bitty, but we are also, the state is catching up. On money that they owed us, like. There's recycling grants that we haven't been paid for, so we're getting our 2022 money. In a few weeks, things like that will start to catch up and there'll be grants coming in also. But our biggest majority of income does come in April, May, and June.
That's it? Very good, thank you. Code enforcement?
Oh. You have your report. If you have any questions, please let me know. He's just very, very busy.
Did you get my message on the portage on? First it's,
Matt has it. Matt is, looking
Okay.
at it. We're thinking, which,
I sent an email to People's Gas, but I think they're leaving it there for Lindy, because Lindy still has to do the pavement restoration. I did send that email though.
in the, Patsy's Market, plate glass windows
Yeah.
broken out.
yeah, we sent it, but, there's a couple people getting code violations that we want.
But I mean, that's pretty dangerous. If he doesn't respond, I think we need to go up and board it up and then, charge him for that. I mean, you need to, if you ride by, you'll see.
Yeah, the glass is broken.
Yeah,
I
it's,
think put a piece of cardboard over it.
it's all.
Edge drooping.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I think, yeah.
Police chief report?
I'm sorry, complaints received 142, total crimes reported 27, total crimes cleared 25. Total persons arrested 15. Crime code summary issued 3, vehicle code issued summary issued 19, borough code summary issued 16, borough parking tickets 26. Magistrates fines collected $383.30. Borough fines and fees collected $170. Police reports purchased 30. Total fines and fees $583.30. Parking permit fees $150. And for the bike derby donations, Verona Moose $100. Verona News $100, Avalotis Painting $500, and donations to the police department for their that Friday night out. The hula bar that donated money 600 or collected the money and donated money $616.16. And like to thank everyone that donated to the bike derby and to the police department donations. Oh, I'm sorry, in Lower Valley, emergency service ambulance, donated, 6 bikes to raffle up also, thank them also.
Dave, on the police side, I guess it's the video amusement game tax.
Yes.
Is there a list of what places have them and how many?
Yeah, look for charge, how many machines they have.
Yeah, because we're looking at that right now as a budget.
We go in, first of the year. And usually.
Yeah, I know that, I'm
The
just,
money starts coming in anywhere from February to maybe like the end of the
I
month,
just didn't know if there was a list somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
but they do pay. That's all I have right now
Very good,
for
thank you.
that report.
Next up, fire chief report, DNP.
Council. Fire department answered those 12 calls for the month of June. On 6/3, smoking structure at 265th Street Extension in Penn Hill. On 6/6, a tree down the roadway, 200 Allegheny River Boulevard in Penn Hills. 6/6, report of an explosion at 109 Dark Hollow Road in Oakmont. Nothing found on arrival. 6/8, commercial fire alarm at 550 West Railroad Avenue in Verona, smoking apartment from a cooking incident. 6/9, power line down at 580 West Railroad Avenue in Verona. 6/17, a natural gas leak at 314 Arch Street in Verona. 6/17, commercial fire alarm at 1 Daily Way in Verona. There's a malfunction from the power outage. 6/17, power line arcing at 101 Arch Street in Verona. 6/17, commercial fire alarm at 1 Deanwood Drive in Verona, again a malfunction from the power outage. 6/17, building evacuation at 1 Deanwood Drive in Verona from the power outage and extreme heat. 6/22, carbon monoxide alarm at 321 South Avenue in Verona, false alarm. And 6/26, a vehicle accident injuries at 800 Allegheny River Boulevard in Verona. And I just have two announcements, if I may. The fire department has two upcoming fundraisers we'd like to share with the public. July 27th, we're going to be hosting our annual open house and spaghetti dinner. That'll be from 4 to 7 p.m. And on September 21st, we're going to have a night of races at the fire hall. The times and information will soon be out on that.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. EMS report?
You have that attached to your items. There were 10 treated transported ALS calls and 13 treated transported BLS calls.
Thank you. And didn't someone say Lower Valley donated a couple bikes?
They donated 6 bikes.
6 bikes, so that they were thanked for that.
Yeah, I mentioned it.
We had a mistake. Thank you. Next up, solicitor's report, Mr. Alexander.
Thank you, Mr. President. You stole my thunder with the executive session announcement.
You can say it again.
Well, I'm not going to, but I will say that it did start at 6 o'clock PM because you left that part out. And
That's why we thank you.
other than that, I did submit a written report and I believe it's in everybody's packets and I have nothing else to add.
Thank you. Next up, engineer's report, Mr. Pitch.
Thank you. You have my written report, just a few updates since I submitted that. We do have the bid schedule for the CDBG projects, which includes the sanitary sewer lining and the Sylvan Way reconstruction. They'll be advertised July 18th with a bid opening August 8th. So those are finally moving forward.
Nothing on the thirds with the other ones?
We're finalizing specs to get it advertised, so that should be bid in August as well.
Cool, thanks.
And we had the borough's MS4 inspection yesterday. That went well. They reviewed our binders and looked at a few things around town. They were pretty happy with everything, so we're doing things good there.
That's not where we keep the binders.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, I met with People's Gas. We painted out Poplar and First for their restoration, so we're just waiting for Lindy to come back. There are 2 areas on Poplar that face off of our ordinance. Does not require them to pave them. One area is 12 foot by 50 foot, and the other is 12 foot by 100 foot. So I did request a quote from Lindy Paving to include those. That way we just have the whole road paved rather than a couple full sections. So I'm just waiting to get that quote back. And then before the meeting tonight, I did mark out the limits of paving for where the water line break was on First. It's going to include from about where it broke all the way down into the intersection with Ridge. So once I talk to Dunright Construction is going to be the contractor, I'll forward the notice of what his schedule is for that.
That's it.
That's all I have unless there's questions.
Thank you, Matt. Next up, council members' remarks. Here's Red Zach Show.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have much to report tonight, other than our next strategic planning committee meeting will be on Wednesday, July 17th. Independent of my committee, I wanted to mention, as far as the bot project, Stephanie, I don't know if you were contacted.
Liz contacted me today.
Okay, great. So we'll be doing a walkthrough with Joe McAndrew and the railroad to consider a few alternatives. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Did you want me to be there, Trish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next up, Dr. Carpenter.
Thank you. I don't have a whole lot to report either. You know, the mayor brought up about Arch Street. I just was wondering, back when Red was on council, I think he was working toward trying to delineate how to paint some yellow lines or have a handicap parking place there. Does it?
No, Arch Street, we looked, because I looked it up, because I wanted to make sure Matt and I had some conversations about some grants, looking for more parking. But there's no way to delineate. That road is so narrow. I mean, even in the mornings, it's narrow. So we'll have to look at, and I checked all Eco 360, there's no ordinances based off of it or anything like that. Cause I wanted to make sure that maybe if there wasn't something we could do automatically, but there isn't.
I can provide some back. We do need to paint a handicap parking spot at the park. Because we received a grant about 20 years ago, and in that grant, the specs said that we had to have the handicap
Did you just
parking
tell me
spot.
to-
I think it was, they actually called us on it because they came out and we didn't have the signage posted on the park saying we got the grant money from them. And that was one of the stipulations in the grant.
Where is that supposed to go?
Grant Street and Arch.
We were talking on Parks and Community Events last year and Parks and Rec, and we had figured if we tried to put the handicap parking spot by the basketball court, the slope leading up is not.
It's too great.
Yes, so we had decided to put it down by the other entrance to the park where the slope is
Okay.
gradual.
For
And
grant.
yeah, and the lines are not needed. That, I think that was a wish list item to help people park. But the handicap parking spot is 100% needed.
Okay.
They will be coming back out soon to check and make sure.
I will talk to the boys about putting that one in.
I mean, Matt might have more insight on the grant.
It was a DCNR grant and it was well before my time, but I do remember them. They submitted a comment letters about the sign and everything.
Yeah, you're right.
I'd say we could probably paint the spot on Grant. Like right,
That's where I.
just set back a couple feet from the corner. You still have easy access to the entrance to the park there. And it doesn't interfere with the arch at all.
Maybe
Totally compliant.
next time you're- you and I and AJ can go out and paint that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're both right. That was in the agreement back then because it's handicap accessible.
Before me.
Those are those fees, but they
Yeah.
have nothing, they just have no fees.
I do remember that once you said that, that's where it was supposed to be done at that end.
Oh, I had a meeting with one of the people.
Yeah.
They said, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong. So I got verbatim.
Okay, I will make sure that, and we'll put it on grant. By the park, okay.
So, but further, my understanding is. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a mess down there. Although I live there and I haven't ever had any big difficulty or problem. But I just didn't know whether we needed to be clearer in our markings of where, like, do we have any signs in there, parking, no parking?
There are already signs up on that street that say parking, no parking.
Right now, the problem is a lot of people park in the one of the businesses down there parking lot. We towed two out of there about a week and a half ago. And right under the stop sign, we could tow them, but the officer tagged them. That's kind of like an on and off thing. down there.
Yeah,
And
so.
parking on both sides of the street down by the park. You know, a couple incidents, pickleball people, I guess, come down, 7 o'clock. You know, while it's still light out and play, they park on that side of the street also, the officer had to tell them to, move their car.
I mean, we don't have, I don't think on the side that you can park on that there's any curves.
No.
So it's I'm not sure how we would like put the yellow so many feet from the stop sign so people don't park there, you know what I'm saying?
Again, Matt and I are working on a grant, and until we can get that pushed through, and Arch Street can be paved, I don't see there being a lot we can do unless we
Right.
start to hamper the businesses.
Let's be honest, this is minimal compared to what it used to be like.
I was just gonna say that with the boat clubs,
I mean, you couldn't find a parking spot from West Road down to the river.
not on Penn Street either.
I didn't realize park on both sides of Arch Street. Every morning, there's cars on both sides of Arch Street, there's cars pulled out of their driveways halfway out. And I drive a tank, and I mean, I didn't realize even that. But yeah, until we can figure out where to find more parking, I think this is gonna be the summer of our parking discontent down there.
People have to park somewhere else more.
Yeah,
The only suggestion that I could make is the mayor listed a litany of complaints or issues parking on the street. One, I don't think that you did list is people blocking, you can only park on one side of Arch Street by the park. And there's, I think, 3 driveways. And many people have complained that people play pickleball, they will block the driveways. Is there any way we can maybe look into having DPW paint yellow line where the driveways are?
I can see what I can do. Last time we asked them, there's really nothing there. to
Just on the
paint.
street where
Yeah,
the driveways are, so people don't.
And a lot of times what will also happen is the police will go down and look at people to move their cars. That seems to be a bigger issue in the mornings with pickleball than it does seem to be at night with other things to do down there.
It's a violation of the crimes code
Yeah, that's why we send
to
it.
block a driveway.
Mhm.
So they can clearly be ticketed too.
And they do that.
I think
I just thought
DPW has
maybe-
letters.
What's that, Matt?
I think DPW has letters. So we could possibly paint the road in front of the driveways, no parking.
Yeah, that's what, just something so people, because some of the
Those driveways are not clearly discernible too, because they look like
Yes.
backyards.
Yes.
And
That's right.
that's another big problem is figuring out, a lot of people seem to have put in fake driveways.
But if you remember when we did North Avenue, we painted the lines and the curves. You have to have setbacks for all the driveways.
But I'd have to check the ordinance, but I believe to be classified as a driveway, it has to at least be gravel.
Yeah, I mean. if you
And they're
look-
they're not.
You can't be parking in your.
No, they're not all gravel. There are a lot of people put in driveways back there that don't
Like the cooler
constitute.
boats in and out or
They-
whatever.
Yeah, so I will have DPW look, we will look, but again, we're working on a grant, but I mean, at this point, people are gonna have to be patient. Pickleball's been around here, for quite a few years, it comes up every summer. Everybody's doing their best with what we have currently.
Okay, well,
Only other thing that I can suggest if we're serious about it is looking at the shed. We've talked about it for several years. I mean, it's something that we could possibly budget for, but that's not gonna be this year. It would be a next year solution.
And I don't even know, yeah, next year, the year after.
That's a great idea, man.
The unfortunate problem is there's not a lot of places to put it where people want it. So we have to get everybody to agree.
okay, well, I'm glad I brought this up. It was very good discussion. Thank you, everybody. And the other thing I wanted to announce, and thank you, Stephanie, this is a great flyer. Done probably with very little time, extra time in your day, but I appreciate it. So we're finally going to have the CPR training. Saturday, July 20th, here's a flyer. And maybe we can get an electronic version of this, maybe we already have it. I don't know, so everybody please. Tell your friends, get some extra copies printed, maybe put them on the door here in a couple of businesses, give some to Dan to pass out down at the fire hall. One question I had for you, Dan, is it the area we're gonna use where the voting is or downstairs?
Where the voting.
Where the voting is, okay. So it's Saturday, July 20th. 10 to 2, the cost is $15. Please RSVP by Wednesday, July 17th. To the borough number extension 3. And people will get certified in CPR and AED use. Anyway, I'm excited about this and look forward to people signing up, and if there's a lot of people and we can't have them all, I think the max is 20 to 25. We'll schedule another one. You know, when the stars align. So I wanted to make that announcement and just also say that the next public safety committee meeting will be on Tuesday, July 16th at 5:30 here in this room and on Zoom. Any questions from anyone? Otherwise, that's it.
Thank you. Next up, Mr. Flota.
We had our Porch Properties Committee meeting last night. We discussed several issues, one of them being the short-term rental agreement that needs some prices on it. Another thing that we touched on was there are some trees on Arch Street that are planted along the hillside of the pickleball court. One of them is growing through the fence. I don't know if we should contact DPW or do we need to notify the shade tree?
Shade Tree Commission, we have a bunch of trees that need to be trimmed on streets. DPW will not do it. Because it needs specialized ladders and that's not their job. That's not, they just don't know how to do it. So we have had quite a few. So if we can figure out, I actually have a thing, who does that? That would be great.
I was part of the group that helped plant those trees.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't. I just volunteered to help.
Yeah.
But I believe we were told when they were planted that they wouldn't branch out too far, they wouldn't grow into the fence, they would only grow to be about 15 feet tall. And
They did everything.
that was about 5-6 years ago, and they're not doing what they said they were.
Like I said, there's quite a few trees that need to be trimmed, that like are on streets and stuff like that people are complaining about. So,
Could you contact the Shade Tree Commission, have them take a look at some of the hot spot areas? And that's all I have.
we really need to make sure, the one thing I will say is that we do have some kind of like program so that we know when they're, because that's another added cost that we just don't have in our budget. So I just want to make sure, and just so everybody knows, the tree was pulled out at Craig's Field. It was falling.
I saw it was
It was,
horizontal.
yeah, it was horizontal and I gave permission for them to tear it down.
That's it, Vince?
That's it.
Thank you. Next up, Ms. Long.
I don't know much, our meeting, John and Trish will be meeting next Monday with Stephanie on finance and we'll be 6 months, a year.
Thank you. Next up, Mr. Jamelis.
I really don't have much to say other than that, we're gonna have our next personnel meeting on the 17th at 6 p.m. Continue to work on the handbook and the job descriptions, and we're also gonna discuss some other personnel issues. Everybody's invited to attend. 17th, 6 p.m. Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
John, want to mention that we're reviewing these?
Yes, sorry. We are, my God. We are interviewing another police officer, this Thursday. So, just wanted to let everybody know, so we're, still in the hunt on that, so.
Is it at 6 or 5:30?
5:30. I think it's
5:30.
Because we had to cancel another meeting.
Yes.
That's it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Next up, Mrs. Provenza?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. I, along with Vince and Tim, were working on the, finishing up the flower project as far as, rates and who's going to be included. And, excuse me, I did put it out to council and, I will put it out again. If anybody would like to give us some input on it before we finalize it for the workshop meeting, we appreciate any of your input. Thank you.
When's your next meeting? So
Next meeting will be on the 23rd, Tuesday.
no, your next committee meeting.
July 15th.
July 15th.
Oh, July
Yeah, 6
15th for
o'clock.
that. I thought you meant when are we going to? No,
This is council.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Mrs. Provenza, you're up for Avon.
Yes, just a real brief. I spoke with them and, the next event is on calendar for, the honor conference, which is going to be in Erie, October 24th through the 27th. And they did not have any information to give me yet. That was all they had. And as soon as information is available, I will be sharing it with you.
Very good, thank you.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Next up is COG. As Matt said, I don't have my paperwork with me, but Matt, like Matt said, they're starting to get the bids out now for the paving of the streets. So that's pretty much COG for Verona. There's other stuff for Tarentum and whatever that doesn't affect us. So that's all I have there. Old business none. Ordinary items, we'll need a motion to accept the minutes of April 30th, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter,
Second.
second by Mrs. Provenza. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Next up, we need a motion to accept the bills for June of 24.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Long, second by Mr. Floda. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. New business and action items. We need a motion to approve the purchase of upgraded equipment for street cameras.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, let me just,
We have to,
we need, go ahead. I need a motion and a second. on the question.
Yeah, then you need to.
I'll
Motion
second.
by Mr. Long and second by Mr. Floda. Any questions?
I think, do we have to stipulate which plan
I
we're
think
going?
we do.
I will make a motion to go with the full plan. The fix all cameras.
7885.
Yeah.
So the motion is by Mr. Long. To go with the $7,885 set of cameras and the new wiring and the new upgrades.
So I put them in a slot can if you're not there.
Wiring, yeah, right.
Yeah, no new cameras.
Good.
Wiring, new equipment and new wiring.
Yeah, are we still?
Resolution.
Okay, are we still in the question?
Yes.
I'm just wondering what this means. If equipment that was quoted was not installed, you may be subject to a restocking fee.
It means if they pull it and then we say no, we have to restock it.
Yeah, but we're right now agreeing to do this, right?
This would have been, if, let's say, we're having council agree all this, let's say that. We pulled everything for 7,885 and then all of a sudden we decided we were gonna do only the $4,000 one, then we have to pay to restock it.
Okay.
You good?
Yep, thanks.
I also want to comment, that there wasn't a comparable alternative to this quote.
And they're part of, the bids under the threshold for, needing a second bid.
Any other questions? All in favor? Opposed? Passed. The next up is to motion to approve the street closure at East Railroad Avenue from James Street to the post office parking lot on Saturday, August 17th, from 11 to 7 for the Verona Eagles family picnic.
I'll make that motion on the stipulation that everybody comes to wrestling.
That's the deal. We already told them. Trust me, the picnic ends at 5, so we've already made the plans.
I make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Long,
Sorry.
second by Ms.
Right.
President Showalter. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Passed.
And please, we will make sure that Ian Miller, we don't shut them off, either that they'll have a few parking spots. We just want to make sure people have.
Very good. Next up, newsletter, announcements, newsletter. This is Provenza.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Currently, we're working on the autumn issue of the newsletter, and that's going to cover September, October, and November. Ads and articles are due Thursday, August the 1st. And for articles, Dawn Ward, our editor, can be reached at 412-828-3607 or at veronanewsroom@gmail.com. And I can be reached for ads at 412-828-7726. Chamber of Commerce, next meeting is going to be held on Tuesday, July 16th, 7 p.m. here in the Borough Building. And we still have some Kennywood tickets left at the Verona News Store.
How much are this?
And those tickets are $38 a person. And they are good until Saturday, September the 14th.
But tomorrow's Kennywood Day.
Yippee.
So.
Is school out tomorrow?
Yep.
Next would be Twin Borough Ministries, the next community dinner. Going to be held on Wednesday, July 31st. And it will be at the Methodist Church. The dinner will be prepared by the Oakmont Riverside Community Church. And it will be hosted by the Verona Methodist Church from 4:30 to 6:30. Historical Society, there's going to be a field trip this coming Sunday, the 14th, to the Old Stone Church in Monroeville. Those that are going are to meet at the Verona Borough Building here at 12 noon, and the tour will be at 1 p.m. And there is no charge for the tour. And if you need more information, Rhoda Wharf can be reached at 412-828-3607. And I think that concludes my reports. If there's any questions or comments, I will be glad to take them. And if not, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Yes, sir, you're welcome.
I think we should give Josie the day off tomorrow so she could experience Kennywood Day.
That's right. You have to dress up like your boyfriend and then take your parents. That's what they told me when I moved here. You get the day off. It's fun. You didn't dress up. Everybody told me you had to dress up like
I
everybody.
wear the same shirt as your boyfriend.
See?
You were to go down to the
Same
flag
golf
convention?
shirt.
Just said an announcement.
Yes.
No, it's fine, it's fine. I'd like to add that this Saturday, the 13th of July, the second edition of Shakespeare in the Park will be held at Cribs at 7 p.m. And the play will be 12th night of What You Do. Last Shakespeare in the Park got moved over to Oakmont United Methodist Church because of pending tornadoes, lightning storms, 110-mile-an-hour winds, all that fun stuff. This Saturday is looking like it's partly sunny, so
And
hopefully.
you're gonna need air conditioning.
Lots of
They dress in medieval garb, so they'll be sweating. Hope to see everybody there, and we will be, Parks and Rec will be handing out free water and popcorn.
My son asked if you could kindly make the Shakespeare plays coincide with the Shakespeare books. He has to read them.
Footnotes.
He said would make his life much easier.
They are very authentic. They read from scrolls like the original Shakespearean companies used to do. They don't let anybody take scrolls home because they don't want people stealing play. It's very,
It is pretty cool.
yeah, a lot of a lot of interaction with the crowd, and it's a pretty fun time.
Son is reading the version of Venice right now, so he.
Tell him to come check it out.
I was like, can't we go inside?
I have some popcorn with his name on it.
That it, Vince?
That's it.
And the last announcement is a reminder about the CPR class, Saturday, 20th of July at 10 o'clock at the Verona Fire Station on Park Street. This time we'll hear comments from the public. Approach the podium or raise your virtual hand. Clearly state your name and address. Try to limit to 3 minutes.
My name is James Morton, I'm the 529 Avenue. One question, I was gonna say something, I'm sorry.
I think it is on.
Okay,
Can
Jan,
you say your last name again?
It's on, I believe it's on.
Could you say your last name again?
Morfield, how you doing? I heard you say something about, giving bids for paving.
Yes.
Is North Avenue growing anywhere in that bid?
Not currently.
I guess the next question is why not? I mean, we have Center Avenue, First Avenue, and we got chunks of rock coming the bottom of our pavement, but then it's tripping people up, bouncing off the car and everything. And, we just, recently, I guess everybody like the Airport Street is the worst street, but by far, when we have a really bad situation. Now, they did come over yesterday and started cold patching without any type of warning at all. So we're running out the house trying to move our cars so we can get these craters filled up. You know, and it does a good job for a while. It's too hot and all of a sudden, so much not right back where you at.
Yeah.
I open my car door and it drags the ground because of dishes and so, you know, we're really concerned about our vehicles, our walking safety. You know, kids have to cross the street to go to school in the afternoon and one's up. And if it's a little rain, that street is slippery. You know, and so we just like to be put on the list to get on there.
I could say that we've had discussions in the past. It's been a hot topic. Some people want the brick to remain. Others would like to see the road paved. So I mean, we're not forgetting about it. It is being talked about. So it's on the list to be looked at. I don't have a time frame right now, but it's not forgotten. I can assure you that.
Just really it's a day for us, you know, not just appearance and anything like that, but actually walking across the street, or getting out your car and trying to get up on the sidewalk. When I first moved there, I curved it. And I thought that part would be the borough's responsibility in putting the curb with this, you know, not sorry fair. You know, and so we do the best we can to keep up with our houses and keep up with our street, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and then even charge an additional $5 if you forget to move your car on Tuesday. So you're paying to get the streets clean, but it's a terrible thing.
Yeah, it's something we'll review again. I will say that unless we are grateful enough to get some grant funds, it's gonna have to be phased. Because a road like that, we'll have to do it like we did First Street and dig all the brick out, restone the road and repave, which based off of just our in-house yearly budget would not cover the full length of the road. But it's something we'll definitely consider when putting together our budgets for next year.
I try.
But no, I am aware of the condition of it, so I mean, you're not forgotten over there. We just gotta figure out what to do and the timing of it.
May I ask you a question? Because I live on North, as in Sylvia, and some people were really upset when they removed the bricks on First because people started speeding because now it's nice and smooth. So I understand entirely what you're saying from a safety unevenness, the building doesn't work situation, but are you concerned if we pave it all that speeding will be a problem?
But I would much rather have state food drive down the road. You know, before the, and that bridge, like I said, very expensive. You know, if you out the city of Pittsburgh, all they gotta speed, yes, I guess a problem doing that. You know, so if there's a problem with speeding, there's limits to that, I mean, have to look at that. that's good.
So I asked in the past about speed bumps in north, but unfortunately due to the angle inclination, it would qualify for this.
It's the angle and just preference of wear and tear on equipment. They're very hard on the snowplow. They really beat the trucks up. And on top of that, the trucks really beat the speed bumps up. So instead of a road lasting 15, 20 years, you're gonna have to start doing repairs in 5 to 10 years on it.
I don't know how much more of my students I got, you know, they have no more concern, anybody can do anything about this, you know, I heard you say a lot about safety. You know, and how it is very important, I agree. You know, my question is about pedestrians.
Yes.
I'm a pedestrian, so I want to drive to the house. But what's a little kid in school, they would teach you stop, look, and listen. You know, I mean, I think that's a great thing to do, you know, when you're dealing with a big vehicle, you know? But you go to places like Johnny Eagle Shopping Center, and anytime somebody will walk out in front of you without even looking. Where is responsibility for themselves? I mean, it's like, you know, there's a couple of times I almost hit somebody, you know, we're not going fast, you're coming past Johnny Eagle door, and they come up with their car from the door, right across.
Yep.
And that happens so much, and people feel as though now it's not their responsibility to look out for themselves, you better not hit them.
So I see some people have their
Earbuds.
earphones on.
And I don't know. Is there something that can be done in a way of letting people know that if they're mean?
We can try,
Jaywalking.
but it's a parking lot. I can tell you, just, I went to do something yesterday at Giant Eagle and I went to pull out and almost ran somebody over.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, if you, the news would have been borough manager runs over pedestrian. The pedestrian walked out in front of me and I didn't see him.
And you didn't see them.
Yeah.
A guy.
We'll
walked
send out
out.
a text reminding people. Again, we could do that, like Officer Franco sends out a lot, like has been sending out texts lately, and we'll put something on Facebook.
You get the big sign on John Nichols, look before you, you know, I mean, something. You know, I had a guy, I almost hit him because he did the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I got fingers. You know, I chewed the horn and I got fingers, you know what I mean? So it's like.
Yep.
But the sad part is if we as drivers hit one of them, we're in big trouble.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree with
we're
you.
in big trouble. I mean, with that type of responsibility, I think they need to be held accountable for their own safety.
Right, yeah, I agree.
Could I ask you your address?
549 with that.
549.
What was your first name?
James,
James, okay.
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
sir.
thanks for coming.
Anybody else? I do not see any virtual hands. This time I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Long, second by Mrs. Provenza. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Passed. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to tonight's meeting and have a safe trip.
That's a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they.
Still, the address, that's.
Yeah, I'll just forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pulled it all up.
How are you? Yeah, it's been a while.
And then I'm gonna.
Still there? You're still.
Oh, yeah, because you're gonna paint the day around. Yep.
Yeah, right.
Basically, they wanna talk about it. So those are, I mean, it's all the same project, but it's separate.
That's why I also putting to you guys.
Not that.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Great. No worries. Would you?
So it's down, like, the very end of it.
Well, I mean.
Runs like the entire day.
Yeah.
Second round.